Welcome to the Ross Patterson Revolution!
Welcome to Ross Patterson Revolution. We got a real special guest tonight. My sister show, Drinkin' Bros, that you may or may not listen to, had a special guest live from New York. Last minute guest, one of my favorites. I would say my favorite podcast, one of my favorite actors. His name is Michael Rapaport. You might know his show, I Am Rapaport Podcast, and he also has a fantasy football show. We were going back and forth online. He's got a new book out called This Book Has Balls, which is fucking funny as shit. He sent me an advance copy, and we were laughing and joking about it online in a spat with Bill Simmons, the sports columnist, because Bill Simmons wouldn't have Michael Rapaport on the show. I said, hey, you know what? We'll have you on Drinkin' Bros. We'll have you on Ross Patterson Revolution. It'll be fucking on. The episode went so well. We're gonna run it on both feeds and both shows because it was one of my favorites. Also, I'm well aware of his political beliefs, and I want to put that out there. I posted a picture of Rap online. I lost some followers. I lost like 3,000 Twitter followers and a few Instagram followers, maybe 1,000 or so. Some Facebook followers, and they were like, "Man, he's fucking liberal and too political and all this other shit." I don't care about that. I never have. Like, we've said this on Ross Patterson Revolution many times. I've said it on Drinkin' Bros podcast many times. We don't care who you voted for. Just be a fucking cool dude. And truthfully, man, there was none cooler than Michael Rapaport. Got to New York City. We were going to do it originally in my hotel suite, and he said, you know what, fuck that. Why don't you come over to my house? We'll have some beers. And couldn't have been a nicer, fucking greater guy. We got along like fucking amazingly. And we had a great show. No politics. And I can say two things. I can say that this book has balls is the funniest book I've read of 2017. I would highly recommend getting it, especially for the holidays or whatever. Really fucking funny if you're into sports like myself. It's literally I laughed genuinely out loud throughout most of the book, and I'm a big fan. 2, go to Michael Rapaport's Instagram, either at I Am Rapaport Podcast or just Michael Rapaport. He's got the same handle for Instagram and Twitter. And tell him how much you dug the show and for being on Ross Patterson Revolution, and give him a shout out. Tell him and at ST James, which is my Instagram, are fire together, because it was a great combo, and I could see us definitely doing some form of a show later on down the road together, because the two of us together were goddamn dynamite. So check out this episode. First, I'm going to get into the sponsors. As you know, we got StrikeForceEnergy.com. They're the premier energy drink in the biz. They got 4 original flavors. They got original lemon, Make America Grape Again, and they've got orange, which is fantastic. Sits on your bar top or your kitchen top. And they've got a 750 milliliter bottle that'll go right up there, and you can boom, pop a couple squirts in and go, or just try a 10-pack. They also have a subscription of the month club. They ship everywhere in the entire world. Use the promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. Again, it's a liquid. It goes in every other fucking liquid you have, so it's not like a powder. You don't have to stir it with your finger. And it literally goes in anything. Go to StrikeForceEnergy.com. Type in the promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. Big fan. Next up, we got StraightRazors.com. Whew. You want to talk about the finest razors in the biz? Get yourself a kit, or get your brother or your father or your uncle a kit for Christmas. And tell them Ross sent you, because it's fucking amazing. They've got the number 1 ranked aftershave in the world, the number 1 ranked cologne in the world, and their beard products. They've got they're the finest that they make. They've got some beard conditioner, some beard shampoo, everything you need to be a real fucking man. You can get it at StraightRazors.com, and it literally, go get Rapaport's book, go get a fucking shaving kit. For your loved one, for the holidays, you're good to go across the board. Go to StraightRazors.com, type in the promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. their products are so high quality. It's like I wouldn't give 20% off. I feel like we're fucking stealing. But they're incredible. So go to straightrazors.com. Again, promo code REVOLUTION, 20% off. Support the show. Last but not least, we've got ledbyiron.com. Some of the finest functioning fitness apparel there is in the biz. And they make great shirts for dudes and for ladies. Shit's not baggy. It fucking fits great. You can roll out to the gym. They got some water bottles. They got some fucking hats. And they're all 100% first responder owned. So go to ledbyiron.com. That's LEDBYIRON.com. Type in the promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. Get yourself some fucking workout gear. Big fan of their tees. Without further ado, here is my interview with Michael Rapaport live from his house in New York City. It's a fucking blast. Enjoy, everyone. Tonight we got a real special guest. He's a man of his word. We got on our Instagram and said, "Hey, Michael Rapaport, come on the show." We saw that Bill Simmons wouldn't have you on his fucking show. We said, "Dude, the Drinking Bros will have you." A week later, you're here.
I'm here. You're here. Can we say we're in New York?
We're in New York.
We're actually in my apartment. You guys came over here and came to New York, and I appreciate it because I wrote a book and writing a book. It's the first time like I've ever like some people are like shy about like pumping their shit.
Right.
And when I'm doing a TV show or a movie, I'm definitely not shy about pumping my shit. But when you put the amount of fucking hours and actual physical hours and thinking and worrying and stressing and concerning and second guessing that you do when you write a book.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm pumping my shit. And the Bill Simmons thing was this. Just to clarify, I mean, I've already clarified it a little bit, but I've done his podcast a bunch of times, and he's like one of the OGs of the whole podcast space.
Absolutely.
And I've done his podcast. I did his HBO show, and, we're cool. But whenever he's asked me to do his podcast, and, I benefit from doing his podcast because people hear it. But whenever he's asked me to do his podcast or do his HBO show, I'm like a wear and win type of motherfucker.
Sure, same here.
If I fuck with you, I'm like a wear and win type of motherfucker. And if I don't,
and I showed up to New York. I was like, fuck it. I'll get on a plane. Let's go.
Yeah. So when I reached out to him and he didn't hit me back, and then I reached out to him again and he didn't hit me back, then I reached out to him one more time. Like I could have kept pushing him. I'm like, yo, I'm not begging you to be on your shit. First of all, I don't need to be on it. Second of all, like it's just disrespectful, like that I have to ask you 3 times.
Yeah.
I'm not begging anybody, and I was just like, fuck it. I was like I said, I was pissed, but the essence of most of the time when you're pissed is your feelings hurt. I was like offended, so like I blasted him, and I was like, whatever it's gonna be, it's gonna be. It wasn't like any fighting shit. I was just told like an elongated, furious story on my podcast, and. Obviously we all share fans in the podcast world.
Sure.
Like, people listen to, this one and that one, whatever. It got back to him, and then he started hitting me, and I was like, fuck this shit, man. Like, I'm not. And then when you hit me, I was like, fuck yeah, I'll fuck with you guys. And, and I started checking you guys out. And here we are in New York.
Yo, I appreciate it. Because, like, look, I'm the same way with Bill Simmons, where when I made that video, I was sincere.
Right.
I genuinely, like, I hate fucking Bill Simmons. I do.
Have you always hated him?
I always have. Because I saw him on NBA, he was doing the NBA shit.
Right.
On TV, and I was like, that's not an on-air personality.
Right.
To me.
No, he's not good on air.
Boring as shit.
Yeah, I mean, he's an iconic writer. And his
Great
whole,
writer.
And his whole sports media, pop culture shit, it was a game changer.
Absolutely.
And like I said, it's not about like his whatever, his shit. It was like a personal thing. Like I was like, fuck this shit. Like he knows more than anybody. You put a fucking book out, it's like fucking work.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of work it is to make the fucking book, especially for somebody like me. I'm not like Ernest Hemingway. It's not like I'm a natural writer. Like that shit was tough. So whatever. So that was the Bill Simmons shit, and here we are.
Yeah. Because I mean, there's a lot of people to me on ESPN where I was surprised they had jobs. When Bill got let go, I heard there was a fucking party. Dead serious. I heard there was a party in the offices. Everybody was cheersing that motherfucker on his way out. So,
well, I'm not surprised. But like I said, I'm not going to diss him any more than I did.
Absolutely.
I fuck with him, and we're cool. And I'm sure maybe not, we'll be cool again. If not, cool if we cool. Like, it's not like I've had way bigger, more complicated, like line in the sand, like suck my dick, I'm never fucking with you, like fuck you type of things. And this wasn't one of them, but this definitely was like offensive to me, like on a personal level, especially for a book and like his basketball book. Like I respected so much. Like I was, it just for like specifically for this, I was like, fuck you, fuck that, kiss my fucking ass, and whatever. So anyway, so enough about that motherfucker.
Exactly. Look, great writer, and it shouldn't be on a fucking personality.
No. Yo, you definitely not.
Yeah. And like with your book in particular, again, we'll go back to the writing process.
Yeah.
How long did it take you?
It took a year.
It took a year. It's because it's hard. And then
Shit's
you get
hard.
notes. You get notes from your editor. You get notes from the publisher.
And I had a guy like working with me, like my friend, like helping me. This dude Mike Young, who's a funny dude. He's on Twitter and all that shit. And you know, we worked together, and I'd throw him shit, and you know, we'd go back and forth, but it took a year. That shit was fucking hard because
people don't understand that, man.
I mean, if some people, it might not be hard to write a book. You know, that's just like I'm good at talking. Like I could talk, and I thought in the beginning, like I was like, I started getting I would talk what I wanted, I would dictate it, and then get the notes, but then. You could do that to a sense, but a writing voice and a talking voice are not the same. Like me just talking into a mic, it didn't work. So I had to literally like, I've never written a fucking short story. I've never written shit. So like I had to like, you know, sort of go back to like, you know, like I was like, felt like I was in school, like sort of just relearn that shit. Not that even when I was in school, I was a reluctant writer.
Yeah.
So it was a complicated thing, but you know, we got it done, and the book is good, and I feel good about it. And
the book is great. I'm going to go ahead and say it's the funniest book I've read of 2017 by far.
Thank you.
Because it is in your voice.
Yeah.
They don't leave the fucks out or whatever. Usually a publisher will come back with you notes of like, hey, you're using too many fucks in this.
We put a fuck index into it, and that was their idea. They wanted a fuck index. And you know, like the thing about fuck, and because I've been doing so much of this press for the book, and you know, like some places, like I've had people literally, like I've done press for 20 something years, but because of the stuff that I've done on Instagram, like I had like at the Wendy Williams show.
Yeah.
They said, you know, the lawyer wants to come speak to you because you can't say fuck. And I was like, I know, it's a fucking Wendy Williams show. And they were like, well, they just want to have, you know, talk with you. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, yo, I know what the fuck show I'm doing. I know when I
after all these years,
I know how to control myself. And they were like, all right, well, we just wanted to make sure. I was like, I'm going to fucking curse on the show now that you're saying that because, you know, I'm not a fucking animal. But the thing about cursing in this day and age, because I was thinking about this, because obviously, you know, I like to curse, and
so do I. Look, you're talking to an audience who, Jesus Christ, every other word is fuck. So, yeah.
But I was thinking about like why people get offended. Let's just say about words that not even if I'm cursing at somebody. Forget that. Like I could see if that's offensive. But if I'm sitting here going, oh fuck, I just spilled my drink. You know, like I was like, why in this day and age? Why is that offensive? Like, or if I go, oh shit, I just hit my elbow. Like, I don't understand like why that's offensive. It's not offensive to me at all. And like, why are we, unless there's like clearly small young kids watching, who gives a shit?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's like,
it's a made up word. So like who somebody made that word up, fuck. And then they told us it was bad. Like what the fuck is that?
We got to do it. I've thought about this before, like doing like a short film on the word fuck.
Right.
Like where it came from, what its origins are. And
it's been done. I'm going to tell you it's been done.
Has it?
Yeah. It was a documentary.
About the word fuck?
About the word fuck. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. I saw it a bunch of years ago at Sunset 5.
A full documentary?
Full documentary on the word fuck
Christ.
and its origin. Oh, if you look hard enough, there's a doc on everything.
At this point, there's a documentary on
everything. On everything.
Every fucking thing. There's documentaries on everything.
Yeah.
We're in like I think for a period we were in the golden era of documentaries. Now it's just like like Netflix, there's documentaries
on fonts. Did you see the one on fonts?
Yeah, I saw it.
I got like
that was pretty good.
No,
yeah, that was
pretty good. I got caught up in a documentary on fonts.
That was pretty good.
And a buddy of mine had me at a screening. And he was like, "Yo, what do you think of my documentary?" And I was like, "It's not that good." And he goes, what could be better about it? And I was like, I'll put it to you this way. I just saw a fucking documentary on fonts.
Right.
And it tore my dick off.
Yeah, it was good.
And if you can't make this about an interesting subject.
I agree. People think you could just tell the story. It's not easy to make a documentary. And
it's not. And
just because you think you're interesting doesn't mean
the public does.
Yeah. And they're like, but that's the day and age we live in, with the phones and like the Instagram and all that shit. And, there's, like the rapper Cardi B, whatever, you could think what you want about it. But like her story going from literally someone who could give shit about making music to getting on a reality show to becoming right now the biggest female.
She's number one.
That's some Instagram social media crazy shit.
Yeah.
That's some only in America shit. Like when you think about that, even Justin Bieber, this fucking guy was found on YouTube.
I know. And
it's wild when you think about it.
You put it this way. So I FaceTime with our kid today. My kid's 3 years old. He's at a playground. I see other kids in the background who are 8 years old literally singing in unison, I make red bottoms, this is money. And I'm like, holy shit, these 8-year-olds are singing Cardi B. And I was like, why the fuck are they singing an ex-stripper song? And then I'm like, wait a minute, because it's number one in America, they'll bleep it out on the radio, so you'll hear it on fucking Seacrest. And then you're like, all right, great. What are you supposed to tell an 8-year-old?
It's a crazy story.
Crazy.
Her story is fucking crazy. It's like she's beloved. Like people fuck with Cardi B hard.
Did you see those hip hop awards the other night?
Oh, she's the biggest one,
dude. People were like, oh my. I mean,
because
losing
her story, because they know, like she's like literally. When you say like I'm from the bottom, like she's
from the bottom,
and she fucking made it. So but it's all part of the Instagram, social media, like even like YouTubers and. Most of it is it gets tired after a certain point, but just the fact that like the channels of being discovered are there's like the thing that's going back to is like there's no excuse why you shouldn't make a movie or you shouldn't make a doc or obviously put out a song or whatever, because kids will ask me about acting, like what's the best way to make get a break, and I'm like,
you can create your own
make a fucking
break.
page doing monologues.
Yeah.
Like do great monologue. You'll get someone to find it.
Shoot it. Somebody will find you.
You don't even need to shoot it. Just put your phone there and start doing your monologue.
It's 4K and you can upload that shit and you're good to go.
That would be, I guarantee you, some actor, like it'll be like not a comedy actor.
Right.
They've already discovered comedy actors. Like some actor, like a Shakespearean actor, is like fucking dramatic actor, will get discovered from doing
a monologue. Yeah.
Or like that. Yeah. That should be a page. Instead of it's always like stunts and jumping off buildings and all this crazy shit and mugging people, whatever the fuck they do. Someone should like be like, you want to be an actor? I'm like, make some fucking videos. You'll be good.
Oh yeah.
That's like an audition video.
Absolutely.
Like do minute-long monologues and put them up on
fucking Instagram. But here's the weird thing about you. For me in particular, she found you on podcasts, right?
Okay.
I found you on Instagram. You're one of the most entertaining motherfuckers on social media, and I'd always liked you as an actor,
right?
Dating way back in the day to
right.
Fucking Higher Learning,
right?
Remy, you were Remy to me,
right,
where it was like, yo, fuck, and I still, because I'm the only one who does a Cole Hauser. So Remy. You know what the fuck we're doing, Remy, okay? So I was,
that's the only Cole Hauser person. Cole Hauser.
I'm the only one who does a Hauser.
Cole Hauser's the actor who played my sort of big brother skinhead. And he's a good actor too. I don't know why he's not bigger actor.
I know why.
Why?
He gets too fucked up.
He doesn't really. He actually doesn't. He actually truly doesn't give a fuck.
No, he doesn't. And he gets too fucked up. And he'll go in and tell people to fuck off.
Right.
He did Kimmel and got high, and they were like, "Yo, this is a fucking problem."
Right. He doesn't give a fuck.
Shit like that. And then you did Beautiful Girls as well.
Yep.
My buddy Scott Rosenberg wrote that movie.
Yep.
One of the greatest writers of all time.
Yep.
And you're one of those people who every movie you showed up in my life,
right?
You would turn to the person next to you and be like, "Yo, all right, that's Rapaport. Like, fuck, I like this guy. It's fine. It's fine." But then with the social media and the podcast, and when we really got to know your personality, I was like, God damn, this motherfucker I love now. I liked him before, but I fucking love him now.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
The podcast shit for me, I was a beat late to the podcast and just knowing about him. And I did a friend of mine's podcast, and it was similar to this. And it was less wires than we have. We have like We got
Yeah.
we got like a few wires here. It's not really a big setup, but we have wires here. But it was really just the mics and the little recording thing. And I was like, this is a podcast. I was like, yeah. I was like, shit. And like I had fun doing it. And I was like, what are you doing? You don't have guests? I just do it. And like I started listening to them and I was like, it's fucking cool. And I was like, I would like to do it just as like an outlet, you know, like almost as a diary. Because at first when I started, it was just me. And then it's always been me, but I just like I never sort of shared it. And you know, it's just like if you knew me, but like I never put that shit out there. And even like you know, with the public, I would be a little bit like say like 65% because you're like, I don't know, it's just I was young or whatever. But the podcast and then social media, I was just like, fuck it. I just love it. And it is like a gut reaction. Like the podcast for me are gut reactions, and the social media shit that has caught on, they're all gut reactions to me. Like I like to put it up as fast as I possibly, especially the videos. And you know, some of these videos, like so many people see them. Like I've had little kids. Like I have a whole new group of people, like
a whole new audience,
13-year-old kids that know me from videos, and I'm
Instagram.
Like, it's crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's
one of those things where you can tell me if I'm incorrect on this. I think this is the biggest you've ever been.
It might be.
It feels like it.
I think collectively it is. It is. It probably is. It probably is because there's different avenues, and it's an unusual thing because it just sort of like. It just happened. Like I wasn't planning it, and the podcast, you never know what the fuck it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And certainly, like the videos, like I've been making videos, and I've always talked shit, and I fuck around, and then when it starts getting shared, and then this person hitting you, and like this person, and then they're sharing it, and like I'm like, what the fuck? But it's cool though. It's cool, and you know, because we're living in such a crazy time, and there's so much going on in sports, and right now, because we're in basketball, football, and fantasy football.
I call it the dream season. The dream season. This is the best. This is as good as it gets.
This is beautiful right now.
Oh, boy. I hunkered down. I fucking hunkered down, and it's Thursday through Monday where it's like, dude, don't even fucking call me. Don't text me. Like, unless it's about the game itself, like, I don't want a fucking bullshit meme about a dog or a fucking zebra. Like, I want to know what all these players are doing. Even the World Series. Like, I don't give a shit about the Astros. I don't give a shit about the Dodgers.
Yeah.
But I am hooked.
Yeah.
And I watched that game the other night, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Stayed up. I was on East Coast time.
Me
And I
too.
was like, shit.
No, it was.
Stayed up and watched it.
It's a good right now especially with the World Series. Again, I don't give a fuck about I don't even give a fuck about baseball. I can give a shit about baseball.
Yeah.
But the way the drama of the World Series has been good, and the football and the fantasy, because the fantasy is my shit.
Mine too. I get a needle in my fucking arm every goddamn Sunday. Now it's on Thursday. And
I love it.
Same here.
Give me kids
Same
more,
here.
the more the merrier.
Same here.
I don't care that you haven't had time to prepare, and you know, sorry, you'll get the week off. For me, getting that Thursday night game.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's been some clunkers, but there's been a few good ones. And I think that's just, first of all, the football season itself has been fucked up. This NFL season has been...
Would you say it's one of the worst ever? Because all the stars got hurt.
That's been really bad.
So, like, because people will bitch about the kneeling for the anthem and shit like that, but the stars also got hurt. So, like, Aaron Rodgers went down. David Johnson went down.
Johnson went down. Was it the first half of the game?
Fuck. He was 4 minutes into that, and
that
he
was
broke his
one of my
wrist.
first round pick in one league.
Same.
And that crushed a lot of people. David Johnson, Aaron Rodgers, Odell, J.J. Watt. I mean, we're forgetting Derek Carr. You know, he's back, but you can tell he's not the same.
No, he's not the same.
Like, I think if you break any bone in your back, it should be at least a month. Like,
at least.
I don't understand. Like, what? Like, I get you want to play in your team, but he broke some bone in his back.
2, allegedly. But they'll shoot him up. They shot him up and got him out there.
And it's gonna fuck with him the whole season.
Yeah.
He should have stayed more. But like, I mean, who else we're forgetting? Julio's hurt. I don't care what anyone says.
No,
he's not right.
Yeah. Julio's hurt. Fuck.
The whole Ezekiel thing. And listen, I'm a Giants fan. I could give a fuck about the Cowboys. But for me as a fan right now, you can't suspend him.
No.
Like, I don't care.
It's too late.
Like, if you're going to suspend him, you need to regroup for the beginning of next season. It's not fair to the football. It's not fair to the league. It's not fair to the Cowboys. And I could give a fuck about the Cowboys.
Same.
It's not fair to the fans. Like, you can't suspend him week 9 for shit that you were like. If he's going to get suspended, whatever, that's not the conversation. You got to hold it over to the beginning of the year, because that's been a fucking a pain in the ass. Like, it's hard to keep track. week to week, day to day. Like, I'm always on Saturday. Like, is this motherfucker playing?
Yeah.
Like, is he playing? Are you sure he's playing? Because you can't keep up. He's playing. They did an injunction. They got a restraining order. I'm like,
I get these updates from ESPN. I don't know if you get them on your phone.
Yeah, I get them.
Yeah. Every time inside of me, honestly, dick goes 2 inches to the left. I'm like, oh my God, is it something about my player?
Or
9 times out of 10, it's Zeke. It's fucking Zeke stories.
Do you have him on any of your teams?
I have him on one of my leagues, yes. On one of my teams, I've got Zeke, and I got him in the third. He was the first pick of the third round.
Because this is when he was going to be suspended,
yes.
right?
Right before, so I was like, fuck it, I'll take him early. And then it was Harlem World, and I was like, dude, I'm going to fucking wreck shit, because I had David Johnson with the first pick. David Johnson goes out, but then I had Zeke to slide in there, and I was like, all right, cool. I got lucky with that, but a lot of people didn't. On the other team, I got Odell Beckham.
Right,
and
that fucked me up too, and that fucked up my Giants.
And I got Julio on that team.
He got one touchdown, and he just gooned that touchdown.
Yeah, and I got lucky because I drafted Deshaun Watson, and I drafted Kareem Hunt. And Kareem Hunt was before the Spencer Ware injury.
Right.
So like everybody looks at me like I'm Rostradamus.
Right.
That's what they call me online, because they're like, how the fuck did you predict that? I didn't. I saw him in the preseason. He looked great.
Right.
And so I drafted him earlier than everybody else. And I got lucky with Deshaun because Matt Ryan was my original quarterback on that team.
Right.
Matt Ryan, fuck.
He's dropped.
That guy's fucking. It's the Cooperstown Kids.
Yeah.
It's all bust on the Falcons team.
Yeah,
him and Julio are just
fucked.
fucking bust.
They're fucked. They're fucked. And they started out. I thought they were gonna like they were gonna be back like with a vengeance, and they lost the Super Bowl. They're fucked.
I was there
at the Super Bowl.
I'm a diehard Atlanta fan. I'm from Atlanta. I was there. To this day, like I wake up and
you at that Super Bowl?
I was at it, and I see the.
So
meme.
Did you have elation?
What's that?
You must have been elated at halftime.
For 6 hours, my best friend's on a show on Fox, right? So Fox gives us the fucking money suites. Like it was the dream day. There's underground concerts going on privately that nobody else gets to go to. For 7 hours of my day, it was better than my wedding day, and I apologize for that, but it was better than my fucking wedding day. And then you get to 2 minutes left, they score that touchdown, no big deal.
Like you're like, well, it's
28-10, don't care. I think he missed the extra point. 28-9, no big deal. Then you get down to the last 4 minutes, all the entire fucking stadium is empty. It's all Falcons fans.
Did Patriots fans leave?
Walked out.
That's for real.
All of them walked out. And it's a glass stadium, so you can see them on the outside like it's Armageddon, and they're trying to say, like Bruce Willis trying to like say goodbye to Liv Tyler, where you're just like, yo, they can't get back in. So
they wouldn't let them back in.
No.
Good fuck.
Security was so tight.
But that's not bullshit. They actually left.
Dead serious. Left.
It wasn't just Mark Wahlberg.
Nope. No. And Marky, he was right in front of us. I saw him angrily take his whole family, and it looked like a fucking road sign in San Diego where it's like, watch out, kids crossing the road. Like, he ripped them out of there, and they were gone. I read like later on that he said one of the kids were sick. They weren't sick. They weren't sick at all. He was sick. Yeah. And he was pissed off, so they all left. So we're in the stands. Everybody's sharing like vape pens, weed, like whatever anybody had. It was like a fucking Grateful Dead show where it was like, what do you have left? Awesome. Let's share. It's Falcons fans. We've never won the Super Bowl. This is awesome. And you still get down to the last like 2 minutes of that game, and we're up by 8. And I still think we're going to win.
Somehow, some way.
No.
Like the
heart
inevitable
ripped out. The memes that I see, I've left friends on Facebook,
I hear
Twitter.
You.
Like, I mean, I've blocked them where I was.
It was
like,
hard to accept.
I can't see it. Yeah,
because I wanted that motherfucker. I mean, I wanted them to lose. I was at halftime. I was everybody from Boston. You fucking cocksucker. It's fucking over. Videos.
Yeah.
You fucks. It's fucking over.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just like dancing, and then by the end of the game, I literally had lost my voice, and my wife took a picture of me like under the table. Like it went from like, fucking Lady Gaga sucks. This is the fucking, everything's going good. Like it just was a smear fest.
Yeah.
They have voodoo on them. I think they're going to win the Super Bowl again.
So do I. And I can't figure it out, but it's going from like Giselle to like Lena Dunham at the end of the night for me, where I was just like, this is fucked up.
You'd be lucky to be Lena Dunham at the end of the night after that.
Damn
you'd be to say Lena Dunham at the end of the night after that you could do way worse.
It was
something
awful.
worse than that. I was
I've had a
I'm
lot
not
of
even an
people
Atlanta
die in my
fan.
life, and I've never been sad about my own family's death more than I was about that game, and that's a fucked up thing to say.
So when you were walking out, what was were the Atlanta fans stunned?
Stunned. Nobody talked to each other. There was no words
Embarrassment,
exchanged.
right?
Yes. Yeah, and then I went to I was staying at a hotel in the stadium, and I went to the hotel bar just to get some food. And I'm in there, and I had my Atlanta gear on, the whole shit, and people were coming up to me like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry, you know." And
Like
I was
a death.
Oh yeah, and I was like, "Fuck."
Those motherfuckers, man. They're. I mean, obviously, there's been so many injuries, and they started off so good, and then they dipped, but like they keep winning.
Yeah.
They're gonna win the fucking Super Bowl, and because there's like, who's gonna beat them?
No one. I would
They
have
have
said
voodoo on their side now, so now it's like if they just get there. Not that they think it. Like, I feel like the other teams will be
the other
like,
team does. Yeah,
they have fucking voodoo.
I would have said if you would ask me preseason who was going to win.
I said Patriots then.
Yeah, you did.
I said it. I not wanting to. I can't stand those motherfuckers.
Sure.
But I'm saying if you ask me who do I think is going to win, not want, I'm going to say the Patriots this year. And they had the injuries. Their defense is fucked up, but their defense is getting better. They're going to figure the shit out.
They always do. And before the season, I said Pittsburgh. Because I thought they had all the pieces.
They're not winning shit.
No, they're not going to win a goddamn thing.
But the league is so fucked up that they're somehow 5-2, right?
Yeah. But then you look at Philly with Carson Wentz and those
They're
guys,
good.
and
But
you're
they
like,
ain't ready.
dude, no,
They're not ready for
I
the
don't think they're
fucking
ready for
Patriots.
prime time. Yeah,
No.
they're not ready for the big game.
No. They're not ready for that shit. They're not. Just like Atlanta wasn't ready. Like if they meet up with the Patriots, they're like, oh, we got this. The Patriots, because they're like, oh, we're gonna they'll do some tricks. I don't know what tricks. They're doing it without Julian Edelman too.
Oh, dude! But Bill Belichick is able to talk people into doing shit.
I can't
where
stand
it's
that
like,
motherfucker.
Fuck! If Harvey Weinstein had the mindset of Bill Belichick, he could have talked them into doing shit and then not harassed anybody. He can talk people into doing shit. You can do this.
He did do some talking.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about the Harvey thing is there's no listen. I mean, essentially, if all this stuff is true, he's essentially a rapist.
Yeah.
Like, forget the sexual harassment. Like, if that's really true that he's actually raping, so he's a rapist, which is crazy. Which is wild. You know, but I did a bunch of movies with Miramax in the 90s. I did Copland, Beautiful Girls, the one that Mira Sorvino won the Oscar for that's come up a lot.
Yeah.
Mighty Aphrodite. I can't remember. I'm
Mighty Aphrodite. No, that's the one that everybody forgets, though. Everybody knows Mira Sorvino won the Oscar. Nobody can name that movie for some reason.
I can't even name it. I think Woody Allen couldn't even. But the Harvey Weinstein shit, everybody knew Harvey was a motherfucker.
Everybody.
But you didn't know it was this.
No.
You knew he was a motherfucker to everybody. Guys, the women he worked with, assistants, producers, actors, directors. Him and directors, him and Sean Penn, they were getting fucking fights. And the only one who, he sort of left alone completely was Tarantino, rightfully so, because he's in a different class. But the Harvey shit is crazy. And I had heard, I never knew any of this. I'm not one of these people I knew, but I had heard he had relationships, but I didn't hear it was any inappropriate shit.
I didn't know it was to that extent. I had dinner with him once, maybe about 6 or 7 years ago, and he brought a high class prostitute to dinner, and it was DiCaprio, Jamie Foxx. It was only 8-10 of us there, and I was like, yo, is that Harvey's wife? And they're like, no. It's not Harvey's wife. We were in France, and it was hey, nothing works. Cell phones, nobody was taking cameras.
Right.
So it was you could get away with that shit back then, but everybody just accepted it. But
I don't care. That's his
Same
wife.
here.
But this shit is another level.
Crazy.
If he's actually raping women and shit, it's one thing to be a freak. You want women to watch you shower, and they don't want to watch. But when you start touching and that's a different thing. And
he jacked off in a plant. He jacked off in a fucking plant. That was the allegation.
He jacked off in a plant, and on my own time, on my own, I've taken shit in flower pots.
Yeah.
And you know what? And they're not the same, but I just want to say that he jacked off in plants, and I've taken shit in potted plants in New York City when I had to, not for shits and giggles.
Yeah, it was for shits and reels.
Times when,
shits and reels.
Yeah. So whatever. I mean, It's a crazy time and a crazy thing that happened with him and that story. The crazy shit is that the one girl, Lupita Nyong'o,
Nyong'o,
out of all the allegations that came out, it came out that he goes, well, I did all this other stuff, but I didn't do that to her. He's like, I'm guilty of everything, but what she's saying is not totally accurate.
But not the girl from 12 Years a Slave.
That's the one fucking thing that I'm gonna that's the one thing that he stood up and was like, I'm not gonna fucking. That's too far.
Yeah.
Let me get a water. Real quick.
Yeah. No worries.
I was gonna say, do you want me to get you a water, but I didn't want to go into your fridge.
It's like the Chicago fire out there.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So your guys, your audience fucks with fantasy.
Fantasy. They fuck with fantasy. I think they'll fuck with this book, to be honest with you, man.
Okay, cool.
Because the thing I like about your book is it's laced with pop culture references.
Right.
It's not just sports to me. There's also acting.
Yeah.
And our audience loves fucking movies,
right,
sports, all that shit.
Right.
And this is written from a fucking dude's perspective.
Right.
Where in the literary world right now, and I look, I've dealt with this myself on my own. People aren't getting books like this right now that are honest and open and hey, this is some real shit.
Right.
And the things you talk about in here are shit that we've all thought and said at home. Shit, your stance on 99% of this shit, we share the same. LeBron.
Right.
When I read the chapter on LeBron, to me, this is going to sound crazy, but he's one of the most overrated athletes to me.
Do you think so?
All time. I'll tell you why. His body type, it lends itself to be so fucking dominant that unless you're God-given and born like that, you can't do it, because his shot has always been clunky to me.
Yeah.
And so when I watch it, it's fuck, I don't want him taking the last shot.
Yeah.
He's lost 5 finals at this point.
Yeah.
And I look at the same way.
3 and 5.
Yeah, 3 and 5. I look at the same way
And
with
you know what's
Shaq.
weird? Kevin Durant wears 35. Just a number thing. I don't know. I'm just throwing.
Absolutely, it's 28-3.
Exactly.
It's 28-3.
Right. Exactly.
But I look at Shaq the same way, where it's dude, his body type.
Yes.
No
wonder he can't shoot free throws.
Yeah. And when you're sitting courtside, because I know you sat courtside for this shit, and you see how much space he takes up on a floor. His dominance. He should have won 8 rings.
Yeah.
Should have won 8 if he worked out. If he trained and worked out.
Yes.
He should have.
I hear you. I agree with you. Listen, I'm not going to say LeBron is not top 3. He's sick. My shit with LeBron is all
personal.
It's all bullshit. It's all his bullshit. My biggest thing with LeBron, it's 2 things. My 2 biggest things with LeBron is, number 1, I've been around athletes since I started making movies. I've always Nick games, they hook you up, NBA All-Star games. You talk to a former NBA All-Star game, celebrity All-Star game MVP. That's a fact. I got the trophy from the late great Stuart Scott.
I saw it.
Okay, so I have that trophy. I won that award.
Yeah.
And when I had kids, I started bringing them around, and all the athletes, all the actors that I've ever introduced my kids to, he's the only motherfucker that was rude to my kids. And it wasn't him being rude to my kids. It was something with me. And I had already met him. I met LeBron when he was 19, before he played an NBA game. Nice to meet you, sir. I'm a big fan, sir. Met him a couple of All-Star games later. I don't get the time, the years clear, but nice to meet you. What's up, Mike? Quick. I'm keep it moving, pound. And then I saw him at I believe it was the 2010 Celebrity All-Star Game. Again, I am a Celebrity All-Star Game MVP.
Yeah.
And I was with my kids at the time. They were 10 and 8 or 9 and 11. And they don't ask for shit. They're not oogle ogglers, because their fucking father's the coolest motherfucker in the room anyway.
Yeah.
So we went over to him, and he dissed my fucking kids. He dissed my kids in front of me. And to this day, my kids remember it. I remember it. I was this motherfucker turned his back on my fucking kids.
Sure.
It wasn't like he missed us. He didn't see us. It was and I was you mother, I was so surprised and
shocked.
I was embarrassed too, because I was this motherfucker. All they give him a smile. That's They don't give a fuck. So that made it to a personal thing. But before that, the big 3 and the Miami shit and the way he went to Miami.
Ruined the league. Ruined the fucking league to me.
Ruined the league. And everybody's playing catch up now.
Yeah.
And these kids that grew up idolizing LeBron, as they should, he's one of the most, iconic players ever. That now, because LeBron is in his 30s, the ones that are 19, 20, they've idolized him. They're going to think they're going to have that same mentality. Yo, fuck. If you don't have a ring, you ain't shit, and I'm going to do anything and everything to get that fucking ring. And if that means teaming up with the other kid that I grew up with, that I played ball with, we're going to do that. And I call it the Charles Barkley theory.
I call it the Avengers. It's like the fucking Avengers.
It is like the fucking Avengers. But the thing why I say it, the Charles thing, for 10, 12 years, we've sat, I don't know how long Barkley's been on TNT, but for all these years, we've watched Barkley on TNT talk shit. And whenever Shaq or Kenny Smith, even Kenny Smith, who was a good player, he's not like fucking Hall of Fame, whenever they want to shut up Charles, it'd be like, shut up, you don't have no rings.
Yeah.
And Charles, as much as he talks shit, he'll be like,
oh, you can see it, and it hurts him. It gets him inside.
Every single time. And you could see kids being like, I'm not going to be Charles.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be Pat Ewing. I'm not going to be Karl Malone. I'm not going to be Allen Iverson. And I'm like, motherfucker, you should be so lucky to be fucking Charles, Pat Ewing, Karl Malone, Allen Iverson, and the legions of other people that didn't win the rings. But the Charles Barkley thing, like every single time they say it, even if they do it 10 times in a show, it's like almost scolding a dog. Like he shuts up.
Yeah, every single time.
And I think he should be. And I think it's affected the younger players.
I do too. And like the other thing about LeBron, I went to Ohio State. So out of school, all of his fucking games were televised. His high school games were televised on ESPN.
When you were at Ohio State?
When I was at school. So like we knew about him coming up. And even as a high schooler, the way he spoke and talked in interviews after these games, it was like, yo, man, you're like a 35-year-old fucking man at this point. He was already concerned about his brand at 16 years old, rather than just being like a kid. Where versus Iverson, that motherfucker,
there was no branding.
No, and he was a real motherfucker who, when he talked and when he did all of his shit, you didn't know what was going to happen. And he was just a real dude. Whereas LeBron seems like a fucking robot to me. Who's just going through the motions of what the carbon copy NBA player should be. And now that he's there, he's saying all the right things, trying to do all the right shit, but he's fucking losing. And if he leaves the Cavs
he's going to leave the Cavs again.
That's what I think too.
He's going to leave the Cavs again.
What do you do then? It's like a double Benedict
I don't fucking
Arnold.
know what he does. But you know, like the chapter on LeBron, the 23 reasons why he'll never be like Mike. You know, like, I just like to fuck with him. Like, you know, like in terms of like the reasons, like you could sit here and do basketball reasons and the championship. You can't argue how great he is, but like the fact that he like never been in the dunk contest. Yeah. This motherfucker does, to this day, he does the craziest shit on the layup line. Now he's 33, 34. He's
not doing it. He's not going to come back and do the dunk contest.
He's never been in the dunk contest.
No, ever.
And ever. Never, not one
once.
fucking time.
Not once.
I think he was like afraid if I lose, it'll fuck with my brain. Motherfucker, you don't want to be in the dunk contest? You're too good to be in the dunk contest?
Yeah.
Or like last year, when he like rivalry shames the Golden State Cavaliers. You beat them once. They beat you. You don't like Steph Curry. He doesn't like you. It's a fucking rivalry. And he's like, well, we don't have rivals. We're rivalry-less. Like, that kind of bullshit. Like, I'm just like, shut the... And when he unfollowed the Cleveland Cavaliers on Twitter. Yeah. Like on some Gwyneth Paltrow Mean Girl shit.
Oh, dude.
You're uncoupling with your own team.
Exactly. And it was like, dude, was Chris Martin that bad? Like, fuck off.
You unfollow your own team on Twitter, and then when the reporter asks you, why'd you unfollow your own team, you look offended.
Yeah.
No, I'm offended why you would unfollow your fucking team.
Exactly. And if you look back in history, go back to Kenny Smith was in the dunk contest. Michael Jordan, Kobe did the fucking dunk contest.
Everybody did. And Michael didn't win everyone.
No.
You know, but
Dominique was pissed like when he lost to Jordan that year, and he should have fucking won. By the way,
it's part of the rite of passage of the NBA. And again, I whatever. So I just listen. I didn't write anything in the book about any lames. You write about the greats. You know what I mean? Like you don't. I didn't write any chapters about like the fucking Utah Jazz. You write about motherfuckers who are great. Yeah. He's obviously great, but like. You know, he ain't my team. He's not my guy. Just like Jordan. Like, I didn't want to be like Mike. I wanted to bury that motherfucker. Yeah. Reggie Miller, that snaggletooth cocksucker. I didn't like that motherfucker. He fucking killed my New York Knicks. Yeah, and he talked shit about it.
He did.
So you know, like, the book is... And, you know, it's not all people I don't like. There's, you know... Whatever.
No, you got great stories.
All
like, dude,
sorts of shit.
Fucking Serena Williams' dad.
Yeah.
You talk about the dad being the real MVP. Was that true that he grabbed his dick and said straight out of Compton?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, he was wild.
God,
he was
damn.
wild.
I didn't know that because I see him now. He's got gray hair. He looks reserved. Yeah. But like that was so younger.
Yeah, I mean, and that was in tennis. Like when you think about it, like 20 years ago, like tennis, when they first came out, and I've always been a big tennis fan because my father loves it. But when they first came out, it was like, what the fuck is this shit? Like,
Yeah.
not just one black girl, two black girls that are sisters. They're wearing their hair in braids. The father's talking shit. Like, he's talking shit. He's not, and they're not just like, we're happy to be there. Like, we're going to fucking beat your ass, as they should. They weren't like, oh, yes, I'm just happy. They were like, we're going to come in here and change this whole shit.
Yeah. When
And
they
the father-
walked out on the court, it was like NWA coming out of the
Right.
Express Yourself video
Yup.
where they rip open the fucking
Exactly.
and it was like, oh shit, they're here.
And they did it for 20. I mean, Serena.
Still doing it.
She's going to come back.
Oh yeah. Oh, you kidding me?
She's gonna
I'm
come back-
surprised she didn't have the baby faster to come back earlier.
She's going to fucking come back. And like, she'll probably like, I'm going to give it one more year. She'll win a couple of more fucking Masters, Grand Slams, and then that'll be done. Like, they're on some shit. And the
Yeah.
father had the foresight. They didn't even play. Like, he's like, you're going to be fucking tennis players. And obviously, a lot of parents think their kids are going to be great. But the way he just saw the whole thing, pushed the whole thing, and then when they got there, was like, we're not fucking here to like shake hands. We're here to fucking take this shit over.
Yeah.
And there's so much, underlying racism in the tennis community. People are happy to see them go. They've just fucking... They've ran the shit for 20 fucking years.
Yeah. They
And
can't wait till those motherfuckers are having
It's
it.
like
hey,
like Jordan. It's like, get the fuck out of here,
Yeah.
man. Like, let somebody else get a taste of this shit.
it's
so
time. You're like, it's time.
somebody
time.
wants to. Somebody get let somebody else win.
There'll be some weird fucking Serbian who pops up out of nowhere and you're like, oh, all right. It's great. Whatever that girl's name I can't pronounce
and
is.
it'll never be the same again, because that story and the fact that it was two girls, sisters,
Yeah.
a lot of times playing each other in the semifinals and the finals. If you wrote that shit in a movie and it wasn't really, you'd be like, this is bullshit.
Not only that, but the exec would be like, hey, that's not plausible. Why don't you do a rewrite on that shit?
Right. This is a fairy tale.
Yeah.
It's like some fucking like Alice in Wonderland shit. Like it's not like a real story you'd write. But so yeah, I wrote about him as the real MVP, and
You had some other shit in there where it was like, you had your favorite sports stars, but what I was surprised, you didn't have your favorite list of actors.
I didn't have my favorite list of actors, but I had my celebrity scouting report
You
of
did.
who could play, who can play.
So since we're on that, I'll get to that because
All
I
right.
played in the celebrity league.
Okay.
I did not have the same experience as it appeared you did in the book. I played, so I get a phone call and they're like, "Hey man, you can play in the celebrity league. Fill in for somebody." I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." So I get out there and they're like, "It's full court. You got the real uniforms and all that shit
It was when
in
it was
LA."
the NBAE.
Yes.
Like it was fully sanctioned by the NBA.
Full referees, the whole
The
shit,
whole
full
shit,
court.
they had like trainers and shit. Like
Oh,
way more shit than we deserved.
well, it was crazy.
It was like NBA shit.
28-26 was the final score.
Yeah. They weren't shit.
28-26.
No one
I was
passes.
and no one passes. I was fucking gassed by the second quarter because I hadn't played full court
No, it
in
was
fucking
tough.
10 years.
And
I
you're
was like,
chasing little Bow Wow around. And
it was Toby Maguire.
he can't play worth the shit.
Worth the shit.
One of the
Terrible.
worst basketball players. Forget as an actor. He's literally one of the worst basketball players you'll ever see anywhere. Like he's like, if you took him like from another planet and put him on a basketball court, like he definitely didn't play basketball. He's one of those kids who did not play as a kid. And then when you're like 25, you can't learn how to play basketball.
No, you're not picking that up on the fly.
There's too many rules. There's too many like where you have to go, move here, zone defense. Like that motherfucker just runs around in circles and shit.
Yeah.
So he probably is the worst out of all the people I ever saw play. Like he truly didn't know what the fuck he was doing.
The game before mine was, I think it was Brian McKnight.
He could play.
Dude, well, he didn't pass.
Never.
That motherfucker was he was shooting like Kobe in his last game.
Every
he was shooting 60
game.
shots.
And he could shoot, but I think I could shoot too if I put up 60. Like he never passed to anybody.
No, never passed to anybody.
Never.
And let me ask you this: could you score? This is the end all be all guys question. Could you score 10 points in an NBA game?
Hell no.
No. All my friends, every friend I have from back home, will swear to me in my face, dude. I could at least get 10. And I was like, there's not a fucking prayer on this earth. Even against the backups, you couldn't get 10 points.
Even against the backups' cousins.
Yeah. You can't get 10 in an NBA game.
You can get 10 if it was just the backups, if it was the trainers of an NBA team.
Yeah.
They play way more ball. Like
It's crazy.
if like I've had the fortune, like this summer in the Big Three was like, I was the sideline reporter for the Big Three games and I would practice with them and shit. Not even, I mean, they're professional basketball players.
Even Scalabrini, right? Like Scalabrini just drains, right?
Scalabrini, when he retired, he did this thing. where he like the year after he retired, he did a thing. I think he played 50. He challenged first come first serve. I'll play anybody that shows up. He beat all of them.
Yeah.
In a row, 50 people in a row. Like if you put Brian Scalabrine now versus anybody, without it, forget that he's 6'10", just from shooting jump shots. You think he's the best basketball player you've ever seen in your life, ever.
And people shit on him.
They don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
They don't.
You've never had the fortune. All you got to do is go to a game early and watch the guy who doesn't play shoot around.
Yeah.
Watch the guy who you don't know who he is. You never watch him shoot around. Like they're professional basketball. They can't miss. It's like when most people shoot, you're like, oh fuck, that went in. They're like surprised when it misses. Like they're. I watched Chris Mullin shoot around. He's 54 now. 43s in a row.
Yeah.
Like and he's not like, oh shit, I made 43s in a row. Like he'd be surprised if he didn't make 43s in a row.
It's
he's
another day at the job.
4.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard that story about Charles Barkley at SNL when they did that sketch where he was boxing out. He was going against Barney one-on-one. Mm-hmm. So famous SNL sketch. They said he showed up hungover as fuck, that he was out at the clubs till like 4 a.m, showed up to shoot that sketch, and he missed like 10 shots in a row, and the production was like, yo, what the fuck will we do? And Charles just looks over and he goes, man, I'll get it together. I'll get it together, I promise. Just turn the fucking cameras on.
Right.
Turn the fucking cameras on. They were like, man, he made the next 60 in a row. Like
60.
it was a fucking
straight
joke.
up 60, like not like exaggerated 60. My friend did a Steph Curry commercial, and he directed it, and he said, I saw him watch 48 in a row. I said, I don't believe you. He said, show me the film. 48 threes in a row. Boom.
Jesus
boom,
Christ.
Boom.
Yeah.
In a row.
Yeah.
Like Mullen told me when he would work out, when he played 500 makes. That's like his workout. Like in a 2-hour shooting, 500 makes. You don't leave the gym until you've made.
He was a fucking gym rat.
You know how fucking long it would take me to make 500. A normal person, even if it was, you could shoot 500 makes anywhere on the court. He's talking about jump shots.
Yeah.
Like in 2 hours, makes. That's how they all are.
We'd be there for 2 days.
That's like a week. Yeah. That's like a lifespan. Like if you said make 500 shots in a day, that'd be hard to do. And if you say anywhere on the court, that's a lot.
Let alone a 3-pointer.
500 fucking makes.
Yeah.
So all those dudes could do that shit. So anybody who says they could score 10 points or Scalabrine ain't shit or Adam Morrison ain't shit, whoever the fuck you think ain't shit, you're fucking insane.
Insane.
They're in a different fucking planet.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Who's your top actors then? Who do you got?
De Niro.
De Niro still one.
Have
you ever worked
twice? Copland and a movie called Men of Honor.
Okay.
So De Niro's my favorite. I would say like, but I'll age down. So I'll say De Niro, Pacino, Jack Nicholson, that whole crew, Dustin Hoffman, Robert Duvall, like those are like my dudes.
Right.
And then below that, like I go like to the generation Denzel, Sean Penn, John Turturro's one of my favorites.
I'm waiting for a name that you just won't bring up. I'm talking about DDL. I'm talking about Daniel Day-Lewis.
He's ridiculous.
Dude. He's so good. Fuck. He's playing this chair right now.
Yeah.
He's playing this fucking chair that I'm sitting in right now. And I didn't know. I didn't even notice.
You're sitting
that's
on
Daniel
Day-Lewis.
He's been doing this for 9 years.
He's sick.
He's been your chair for 9 years.
But I'll say this, and this isn't any sort of diss. I mean, if you had kept making me guess names, I would have said him. But for me, as great as he is, the thing about his acting style that I don't relate to, and that it doesn't resonate the same way the guys that I just named before that.
Sure.
You never get a sense of who Daniel Day-Lewis is. And that's great. Like he's totally like engulfed in the character. But as much as De Niro, Jack, and all these other people were engulfed in the character, you still got a sense of who they were.
A little piece of who they were as a person.
A little piece.
Yeah.
Whereas Daniel Day-Lewis, he's one of the only actors where you have no idea. He's literally the character. And that's
he was Abraham Lincoln.
Straight the fuck up.
Like if you took a time machine back to 1860, I bet it's him giving that Gettysburg Address in 1865.
Straight the fuck up.
Yep.
And I'm not saying, obviously that's the end all goal.
Yeah.
But even as much as, and Meryl Streep's probably the closest, as she's gotten older, you get to see a little bit more of her personality, a little bit like, especially in the comedies. And she's sort of another one who morphs. But I've never seen anybody morph as much as him.
Dude.
But for me as an actor, like when I'm approaching actor, I don't approach it that way. Like there's different approaches. There's like this method shit, which obviously he engulfs top to bottom. Like he's the mountaintop of method. And like another person who sort of like does that, like Benicio del Toro. He's another great actor. He's a friend of mine. And he sort of, I don't think he morphs as much as Daniel Day-Lewis, but like for him, like you don't really get a sense of who he is when he's acting. You know, he like puts on voices and walks, and you know it's seamless, which is the goal. But like with Denzel, to me, he's the ultimate because he has the craftsmanship of like a method actor, but you also get a sense of that's Denzel.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And also when at a certain point, you know, you can only hide so much when you've done as many movies as Denzel does, as De Niro does, as Jack Nicholson. Like you're going to get a sense of who they are. Like the one thing about Daniel Day, it's like he has his own path and his own groove that he wants to do. And that's why he kind of like does whatever. He probably hasn't even done 20 movies, right?
Nah. Every 5 years, he pops up in a fucking movie, wins an Oscar, and you're like, yo, I can't remember the last fucking movie he was. And it's like you go back in his IMDb, it's like 6 credits. It's like My Left Foot.
Right.
And you're like, oh, shit.
Like
that
I
was
wonder
5
how many
movies ago.
movies like that he's actually done.
Yeah. I mean, you're looking Gangs of New York, There Will Be Blood, Lincoln.
The boxing one.
Yeah. My Left Foot, the boxing one, and then the fucking new one where he's the fashion guy with Paul Thomas Anderson that's coming out on Christmas.
Right. And he says he's retiring.
He's done.
He'll have bills to pay.
That's what I think.
That motherfucker's not. What is he? 50? That motherfucker ain't retiring.
But his quote can't be that high either.
Because he's not Will Smith. It's not like people are. We respect him and everybody's like he's great, but it's not like there's legions of motherfuckers. It's not like it's like the Avengers or you know like a Star Wars movie
where you can just call it a day. Yeah.
Because it's not like he's easy to watch. Like his performances are dark.
Oh, super dark.
He's a dark. That's probably one thing that you could say about him. Like, I bet you that motherfucker's probably not that fun to be around.
No. Are you kidding me?
Like,
he's in the backyard right now, shaming himself with a fucking belt, just hating himself. Yeah.
He's not like he's the life of any fucking party.
No. He's the last guy.
Imagine being married to him. He's like fucking reading poetry, and he was like a shoemaker for a minute. Like this guy, like, see, like for me, like. You know, so those are my dudes. I mean, there's so many, you know, good actors, but those are like my, like, you know, I'm forgetting some, you know. Like,
Denzel's one of my top, by the way.
Sick.
And like, dude, when you're talking
ridiculous.
About being a part of yourself in your characters, like I got to, when I very first moved to Los Angeles, wanted to be an actor, all that shit. I was working a party for him, and I got to play a game of pool with him. His agent was hosting a screening for The Hurricane, and he didn't want to watch it. And I was like, hey, man, the movie's starting. You're going to watch your own movie? He goes, I don't watch my own movies.
Right.
I don't watch my own movies. I was like, oh, never? And he goes, I don't watch anybody's movies. And I was like, shit. So I asked him,
he said he doesn't watch anybody's movies?
Yeah, so I go,
I understand.
So I go, what's the last movie you watched? And he was like, I was on a cruise with my wife, and there was an Italian movie, all in Italian. That's the last movie I watched. And I was like, oh, shit. We started playing pool, and he looks at me, and I'm a fucking waiter at this point. I just moved to town. And he goes, $600 a game? And I was like, what? $600 a game. And I was like, no, man, I'm a fucking waiter here.
I'll be lucky if I get a fucking $100 tip.
If I could afford $600 a game, I would not be serving you drinks tonight. And he was like, okay. And I remember Training Day coming out right after that. And I was like, oh, shit.
Right.
There was kind of Denzel. It was a little piece of Denzel.
That was, I think, the first time where we really saw like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just the clean cut dude. Like, he's got an edge. Like he's I'm gonna say like he's Kimbo Slice, but he's a tough guy.
He
like
is.
He's like Denzel Washington like is a tough dude. Like not to say like he's Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
He's so good. He's to me I make the equation of Allen Iverson. Like he literally has taken I'd say 5 or 6 movies that if you put anyone we just named, they would be shit.
They're shit, yeah.
Like he's
100%
literally
agree,
like, he's gonna get 40 fucking points, and the team is gonna be in contention.
Oh yeah,
because of Denzel.
Yeah,
there's like a bunch of fucking movies that he's done. What's the one? Not City of God. Man on Fire.
Man on Fire. Yeah.
He makes Man on Fire into Academy Award level shit. The Training Day. That would have been a B movie, that would have been like a Liam Neeson movie.
100%. Because if you take that script and you say, King Kong ain't got shit on me, who the fuck is going to pull that line off and make it cool? Like, who is it? Who's
nobody.
Nobody. There's nobody else.
It turns into shtick.
Yeah.
He's a bad motherfucker.
Oh, he's one of the best. He's one of the best. And I got to drill him that night. I asked him every acting question under the fucking sun.
And he loves it, right?
Loves it. And he's old school New York theater.
Right.
And that was the first thing he went to, was just like, yo, I fucking pounded the fucking boards and learned my craft.
Right.
And he goes, that's why I'm this good.
Right.
And I was like, fuck. I got it after that night. I was like, all right.
Yeah, he's to me, he's the best. And you know, I mean, it's so subjective. It's like what you like, the movies, you know, it's art. It's not like, I mean, it's the same stupid conversation like LeBron, Kobe, Michael Jordan, but like the quality of his work and the craftsmanship and the fucking looks and the swag and the whole fucking deal. Like he's got the whole fucking deal. Like he's got the whole shit. And he's never not been good.
No, never. Like there's not one movie where you turn on a Denzel movie and you're like, he's shitty in this.
He's been in some movies, but he's always like 40 points. Like he dropped 40. He's always triple double.
And whenever he comes out with a movie, I feel like they save an Oscar spot for him, where it's like, hey, there's only going to be 4 of you against him. So hey, good fucking luck.
Yeah,
this year.
he's a motherfucker. Like he's the only person I go see his movie sight unseen at this point, because I don't go to the movies like I used to.
Nobody does.
It's fucked up.
It's fucked. We had Miles Teller on night before last.
Because he has a film.
Thank You for Your Service. That's out this weekend. But he also had Only the Brave last weekend. Both
he had 2 movies back to back.
Back to back. Not his choice, obviously. None of anybody's choice is to have 2 movies back to back. But here's the thing with him.
And they were both his movies?
Both his movies. Both
That's
fucking
stupid.
great. The reviews across the board were sick as fuck.
No one saw him?
Dude, $6 million for Only the Brave opening weekend. This weekend, $3 million for Thank You for Your Service. What do you do at this point?
The movie star as we know it
Is dead.
will never be the same.
No.
There's like a handful of dudes. DiCaprio, but he came, you know, he started 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So he's you know, and he chooses, like, you know, he chooses movies like he doesn't do, they're complicated, but he swings for the stars.
Yeah.
Like he's going for
A home run every fucking time.
Every time.
Yeah.
Like it's Scorsese, like, you know, maybe Will Smith isn't where he was. There's like a few.
I just saw a trailer for the new Will Smith is on Netflix. Netflix is doing the new Will Smith movie.
It's straight to Netflix.
Yeah, and it's called Bright, and it's him and like an orc. I'm dead serious. He's a cop, and the other guy is a fucking orc.
It's never going to be the same because the movie business has changed dramatically. If it's not Transformers or Batman this or Superman and Batman and Superman, it's changed. And, you know, people front, like actors front, like, well, I'm doing TV because you're doing TV because that's where you can make a living.
Yeah.
Like, there's great parts there, but the reality of it is like that whole Miramax 90s shit that I came up on, done.
Yeah.
Like, because it used to be where there's the big stars getting their huge money, and then there was the in-betweens, and then there was the low. That in-between's done.
Gone.
The majority of us were always making good money, really respectable money on the in-between. Now they're like, we're going to give you this. I don't give a fuck what your quote is.
You're getting scale, motherfucker.
We don't care what your quote is.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing it, we got 10 other dope motherfuckers behind you. Because you never would have imagined seeing De Niro on HBO, seeing John Turturro on HBO, seeing fucking Alec Baldwin.
Reese Witherspoon.
All of them.
No, yeah.
All
Jim
of them.
Carrey's doing a Showtime series this
All
fall.
of them.
Yeah.
Because the opportunities in film, unless you're doing those like superhero movies to make the real money, you can't do it. It's wild.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, I'll put it this way. The last documentary I saw in theaters was yours. Was a Tribe Called Quest doc.
Are you really?
Dead serious. Because everything was on Netflix after that at a cheap rate.
Yeah.
So Netflix was picking up these docs starting in like 2011, 2012 for 20 a piece. 20 a piece, and it was like, hey, do you want the shine or not?
Right.
And everybody's going Netflix.
The Tribe doc was one of the last ones.
One of the last ones that everybody went
that
to the
made
theaters.
to the theater.
I saw an ArcLight on Sunset.
That's crazy that it made it to the ArcLight.
Looking back on it now.
I don't care if you made the best doc now. I mean, if you made the best now, it could, sneak into a theater. We were all across the country.
Everywhere.
This
and
shit's
dude,
done.
I went opening night and it was packed because I'm a diehard Tribe fan. I went opening night and it was fucking packed, and I was like, yo, and the movie delivered too.
Right.
So like, and you had the music,
right,
all of it, and so it was. You could see everybody's heads bobbing in the theater. And it was fucking dope as shit.
Right.
You won't have that today.
Nope.
Like,
I've gotten hit up by a lot of dudes in hip hop. Doc, I'm like, there's no fucking way.
There's no money.
I mean, there was no money in that, but like, at least we knew like we're gonna be in the theaters, or we didn't know that, but at least that was a goal.
Sure.
You can make the best shit now, and you might like, they'll play at the ArcLight for a week, just sort of like as a formality.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're gonna 4-wall it for a week, and then good luck. It's gonna be, you'll see it on Netflix. On Tuesday.
It's crazy. It's crazy that it's like that. But there's like Denzel, Leonardo, Brad Pitt to a sense still, but he does his weird movies. He doesn't need any fucking money.
Brad Pitt's doing Netflix.
Right.
I just watched his last movie on Netflix.
That wasn't a good movie.
No, it's terrible.
What was it called?
He was playing the soldier, the captain.
Right.
The general. I'm sorry. He was playing a general is who he was playing.
But it made more money because it was on Netflix. I don't even know how
they're able to go to. Here's how they're making fucking money off that shit. It's going to 120 territories at the same time.
Right.
So therefore, they own all the foreign rights as well. So when they're going there around the world, and they own it for a long time.
Right.
And Brad Pitt, look, overseas, he's still Jesus.
Yeah.
Like, he's still Jesus over there.
But it's just here with the movies, like, fuck, I'll wait for it on Netflix. I'll wait for it on iTunes.
And like, I feel guilty about it as an actor.
Me too.
Like, yo,
I do too. But I've had some fucked up experiences, not bad, not like terrible, but some fucked up experiences in the movie theater too that took me. I was like, fuck it, I'm just not.
Everybody's on their phone.
They're on their phone, motherfuckers. Even at these theaters like the ArcLight, where you buy assigned seating and you're supposed to not be able to let in once the movie starts.
Right.
I'm like, yo. Like for me, if I go to the movies, especially this one, I'm in the fucking seat 10 minutes before. I'm getting my shit relaxed. I'm getting my fucking pop. Like, it's an event.
Yeah.
And you motherfuckers are walking in during the fucking show, or they're on their phone, and I'm like, fuck this shit. I'd rather watch it in the privacy of my own home.
I've gotten that way too, where it's like, dude, because in LA in particular, they'll bring in kids. They got a bag full of Taco Bell.
Yeah.
They're rummaging through their shit. And was like, hey, man, I bought my popcorn and goobers like a grown man.
Yeah.
And I fucking made my
little
bed.
space.
Yeah. I made my fucking bed.
Yeah.
And I'm here.
I want to have my experience. I want to have my $9.95 worth it. But more importantly, that it's like, what did I miss this year?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I don't fuck with superhero movies. Like,
I don't either. I can't get into that, and I can't get into sci-fi.
So
like,
here we are in October. What did I miss?
Nothing. Like maybe Blade Runner. Did you see Blade Runner?
I heard it was beautiful. I heard it was cool.
It was.
I didn't see that, and that's just because I'm busy.
But that's about it. That's
fucked up.
I know.
And
it's only going to get worse. And the numbers are going down, so it's like, the stocks are going down for all the theaters, so
it's fucked up.
It's fucked.
I mean, I'm sure now, like, it's Oscar season, some good shit will come, but I didn't miss anything. I'll go see the good shit.
Yeah.
I'll go see a few, like, it's fucked up to admit this as an actor and as a supporter of, like, you got to support your own. I haven't been to the fucking movies. I don't think I've been to the fucking movies since last fucking December. Or maybe November.
What was it? Do you remember?
I have to rack my brain around it.
Blade Runner was mine. The one before that, I want to say, was NWA.
That was the last movie I saw.
And it was fucking great.
That was a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
I know.
That's shameful.
Yeah.
And before that, I hadn't gone for a lap. And this is the big story that fucked me up. So when Django Unchained came out, I was like, it came out on Christmas. I was like, I'm going to see my kids in the morning. I'm gonna go with my wife to see Django Unchained. Like, I bought my tickets 2 weeks before. They came, it was like, I'm gonna buy my tickets online. Django Unchained. I had my whole day laid out. I'm gonna see my kids in the morning, give them their fucking presents, tear through your shit. I asked them, do you want to come see Django? They don't want to come see Django. Asked other people, you want to come see Django? Because when the tickets came out, I'm going to get my tickets.
Yeah.
So whatever it was 2 weeks before I bought my tickets to see Django Unchained. Did my Christmas shit in the morning, had my breakfast. I was like, I'm going to see fucking Django Unchained. So it was like a 1 o'clock showing at the ArcLight. It was my wife and her mom. Those are the ones who wanted to go. Where do you want to sit? Because this is my shit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm seeing it sight unseen. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to see Django.
Yeah.
I get in the theater. It's packed. Christmas, packed. I'm on the aisle. like I'm in the M row right in the middle on the side. We're there 20 minutes early. We're chilling. We got extra candy. Got fucking, 2 things of, chocolate and popcorn.
So you don't have to get up because you know the movie's 3 hours.
The whole thing.
Going in. So
It's
you're
Christmas.
like, yeah, I'm
this is an
doubling
event.
up. I'm doubling up.
So I'm sitting down. My wife's here. My mother-in-law's over here. The movie just starts. Remember, the Django music comes on.
Yeah,
and I mean,
yeah.
literally, the Django shit.
Yeah.
A woman comes kneeling right here. And I'm like, I'm not even looking at her. And she's like, excuse me, sir, I think you're in my seat. And I'm not even looking at her. Like, I'm like, I want to be like, I didn't say, but I want, like, my energy was like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I've done this. The movie started.
Starting. It's on. Yeah.
Like, if I am in your seat, we should have had this conversation 20 minutes ago.
yeah.
Fucking Jamie Foxx is on the screen now. So she says, sir, you're in my seat. So my wife, because because I'm literally like not even fucking giving her eye
And
contact.
she knows you. Your wife knows you.
Yeah,
she knows
she
you're about to erupt, probably,
feels
right?
my energy. So she pulls out her ticket, and the light from the seats. I see on her when she does it. I didn't even look, but I just caught it. The ticket said December 26th. I looked down at the ticket and like she goes, babe, we don't have the wrong tickets. I don't give a fuck. I'm not getting it. She goes, we're sitting in her seats, and lady's like, you're sitting in my seats, and I was like. My wife and her mom.
Did you have to leave? Was it sold out?
She got up. It was fucking packed. It was Django on Christmas.
Oh, God.
They got up first, and I was like, motherfucker. So I got up, took all my shit, fucking threw all my fucking, this was bad. I fucking dropped all my fucking candy. There was like, and got the fuck up. But I was like, how the fuck did I buy the wrong, like I'm talking shit, Django,
day later,
1:30 at the
yeah.
Arc, like, fuck you didn't get your tickets, and somehow, some way, but that like was like the tipping point where I was like, fuck the ArcLight, fuck the movie theaters,
You're done with the whole shit. Hey, the last thing before I let you get out of here, I know you've been slammed this week with a million fucking interviews and you're tired of talking to people. I'm curious to hear your state on rap music these days. I caught you the other morning on Breakfast Club.
Yup.
And they were talking about the Jay-Z album. We have the same exact opinion on that, by the way. I did not think that was a good album.
Me neither.
And I want to hear fucking bangers every single time out of people. If you want to make a fucking art album, let that be your mixtape. And
Right.
tell people, hey,
Right.
this is my mixtape. This is my fucking my
Right.
art piece.
Right.
If you want this, go get this. And so your rant, because they looked at you stunned of like that. I forget who it was. Was it Charlemagne who was just like
they were-
he was
they
like,
were-
oh, it's a top 3 Jay-Z album. Not in a million goddamn years.
One thing about that interview and saying that, because I said it on my podcast, but I knew, when you're saying it on New York radio, it's like it's gonna go out there more. And they were like, yo, I said what I said, and this is what I said. Like Jay-Z's my favorite rapper. It's Jay-Z or Nas. Like
Yeah.
they're neck and neck. But Jay-Z collectively, if you look at just the body of work, the amount of dope songs, he surpasses Nas. Like they're both lyrically, they're always great. But the amount of songs, like I have to go, Jay-Z has made the biggest body of work. And
oh yeah, have you been to a show?
no, he can't. He doesn't even need to do it. He doesn't need to pick the mic up.
When you go to a Jay-Z show, like 'cause I've seen him like 5 or 6 times
Me
in
too.
concert. At the end, he just has the DJ. He goes, "Yo, man, I got so many fucking hits. I'm gonna have to go one in a row,
Right, and do like half the
ripping,
song.
Yeah, half a song, ripping them off for the last 20.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck. But then this album,
So this album, like I was like, fuck yeah, Jay-Z's coming out, and I saw, who produced. I was like, this is gonna be fucking dope. And again, like I said, his lyrics were potent, but every beat was like a Flowetry record or an Erykah Badu record
Yes.
or a Jill Scott record, which
Yep.
is dope if you're listening to those 3 women. But like for Jay-Z, like I need some like Jay-Z music. Like put it this way, you're not gonna play any of that 444 record during a basketball game.
or in a club, or in your fucking car,
Or when you work
You're
out.
not nothing.
Like
Nothing.
so
on
what
that
he
album.
was saying, like it was, like it was smart, and the lyrics were potent, but I don't care who it's from. If it's Nas or Jay-Z, fucking Biggie's Lost Tapes, whoever you're into, Tribe, whatever, I need to like bop.
Yeah.
So I listened to it once and I was like, what the fuck? I listened to it again and I was like, what the fuck? And
I thought maybe it was me. So I went to online. I was like, shit, am I the only one who fucking...
but we're online, were you the only one? Because like when it came out, I was like, maybe I've lost it.
Yeah.
Like maybe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everybody online was like hailing it, and they were hailing lyrics, and I was like, that lyric is a great lyric, but I don't want to listen. I listened to it one more time, and I was like, I'm done.
Same.
The shit had no bangers. And check this out. You've seen him perform 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
When he goes on this new tour, he'll do 1 maybe 2 songs off that record and nothing else.
Yeah, the OJ song, I'm Not Black, I'm OJ, he might do, maybe.
That's not a song to perform live.
It's not.
That's a song to perform live in like like an intimate setting.
Exactly.
To fill up Madison Square Garden or Staples or Giant Stadium, you need to put on your shit.
Yeah, you're not playing any of that fucking album.
No. So it's sacrilegious because I fuck with him so much and I have such respect for him. But, and again, it wasn't his lyrics. I just like, these are not Jay-Z songs. And for me as a hip hop fan, what you asked me about, like the state of hip hop, guys like Jay-Z, even like Crazy Kanye, Eminem, and anybody who's relevant that's made that classic boom bap sound, Nas, like it's their responsibility to, because soul and funk, you don't have to explain it.
Yeah.
Like if the world came to an end and 200 years from now, they got a hold of James Brown, when the fucking new age cavemen hear it, they're going to be banging their head. There's no explanation.
Yeah.
It doesn't need any, it doesn't need any explanation or, well, it's just kind of this kind of album or it's just kind of this kind of album or it's a teaching. You put on James Brown, the shit is banging.
Yeah.
That's
to this day. Any day.
200 years from now.
Yeah.
James Brown, like, so certain Jay-Z songs, you put them on 200 years from now, they're bangers.
Yeah.
So.
And we don't have that. We've got, I see you writing all the time about like mumble rappers.
Can't stand it.
And I can't name, by the way, they get so confusing because they all sound the fucking same.
They all do.
Where it's like, where was that when I was fucking in the basement? It was like,
and they're on drugs. I mean, not all of them. I don't want to say all of them. And like, but a lot of them, they are openly, you see them on fucking line. They're like fucking whacked out of their tree. And here's another thing. They, I see all this shit on Instagram, but you see like the kids going crazy in there, and I'm like, these are kids. I'm 47. My fucking time's over. But I'm like, these kids are waving their hands, and I'm like, they don't even know what they're fucking saying
or hearing.
They don't know what they're just happy to be their kids.
They don't know what they're saying, and they don't know what they're hearing.
They have no clue. So they're just bopping their heads, and they're just happy to see the person online. So it's just a different time, and God bless them. But like for me, it's like if something is dope artistically, it doesn't need an explanation.
Yeah.
And it's timeless. So we'll see if these kids still like this shit in 40 years. Because I know for me, the Jay-Z music, the Nas music, the Tribe music, the whole legions of all the other shit, the other hip-hop, I know when I play it now, that shit still sounds funky. So we'll see if this, little whatever his name is.
Lil Yachty's not going to hold up in 40 years.
We'll see in 20 years if that shit still is like, banging. Because no one's going to be like, yo, Lil Yachty, you need to do bangers. Because he never did a banger.
No. There's
not one banger.
No, not one banger out of all these guys.
And Kanye, we could say how fucking nuts he is and all that stuff, but like that motherfucker, like the first image of the NWA movie, and I thought it was brilliant. You see the young actor who plays Dr. Dre laying amongst all his records. Because before he was thinking about rap, he was in love with records, in love with music. And that's, I think, the thing that's missing now. It's like motherfuckers are in love with, I want to be a rapper.
Yeah.
But the production of like, a Q-Tip or a Kanye, like his best shit, or a No Idea, or any of these, the legions of other motherfuckers. Before there was even rap music, they were in love with Stevie Wonder or James Brown or Steely Dan or like they loved music.
Yeah.
Like you talk to like Premier or one of these guys, they could talk about any kind of music because they love that shit.
Yeah.
And that image of Dr. Dre and the Straight Outta Compton movie. Like, that was like a pointed thing. It's like, you see him laying amongst his records. Like, he wasn't a basketball player. He loved his fucking records. And that's the thing, I think, collectively, why hip-hop now will never be the same.
No, it won't, because there's no that the love of music is gone. Now it's replaced by the love of fame.
Right.
Of like, hey, I want more fucking followers
I want
on
to be
Instagram.
a rapper.
I want to be on fucking SoundCloud.
Like, how can you say you never heard of, how could you proudly say, I don't care if you're a rapper, not a rapper, I don't care if you have anything to do with the music business, but if you're a rapper, how could you proudly say, I never heard a Biggie Small, a Biggie song?
Yeah, it's
That's
crazy.
Like saying Lonzo Ball saying, who's Magic Johnson?
Yeah.
Or if Russell Westbrook was like Oscar Robertson, I don't know who he is. You'd be like, but for some reason in hip hop specifically, that's accepted. I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, you should be shamed.
Yeah.
Like in any, it'd be like it's like if Aaron Judge was like, I heard of Derek Jeter, but I'm not sure. Like,
I'm not familiar with his stickman career.
Or like you'd be like, or like he's Aaron Judge, the home run hitter. Like if you're like, I don't know who Reggie Jackson is. Aaron Judge never saw fucking Reggie Jackson play, but he did his research and he knows enough to fucking respect the fact that it's Reggie Jackson and he's in the scene. You would never say that, and only in hip hop. No other genre would a guy be able to say, I don't know any Biggie Small songs. Or I didn't listen to any Wu-Tang. Why not?
Yeah.
You're bragging about that shit?
If you're great at your craft, no matter what the
If you
fuck
like
it is.
music, if you're alive, you love fucking. You've
yes,
heard Wu-Tang.
and you study the history of it, and you
Forget
become
even
fucking
studying
great at it.
Just
yeah?
if you fucking breathing, like you're gonna like you never heard Wu-Tang. Like,
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Exactly.
Not one Wu-Tang song, and you have the fucking balls big enough to say that. If I'm interviewing somebody on the radio and they say that, cut the radio.
Done. Walk out of the fucking studio.
Bye.
Game over.
Dude,
yeah.
that's not acceptable.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want to talk to you.
Well, shit, man. Hey, Michael Rapaport, I appreciate it. He
Thanks
had
for
us
having
at his
me.
motherfucking house. Unbelievable. 6 o'clock on a Friday night. You've been everywhere this week.
We didn't start talking since 6. How long have we done this?
You're 1 hour 15.
Yeah. Damn. 1:15 in. It goes quick.
My jaws.
Done. You're done. You're done.
I got lockjaw.
He's done. Look, go pick up Michael Rapaport's book. This book has balls. It's in bookstores everywhere. It's on Amazon. The Audible. Hey, fucking go get the goddamn
It's easy
Audible.
to find. Yeah, the audio book is good. Did you do your book on tape?
I did. Did you do yours?
That was a fucking backbreaker too.
Boy, 8 hours a day for, I think mine was 8 or 9 days. Was yours?
That took a lot out of me.
Oh.
That was a surprising.
All day long.
And it's funny that the book is called Sports Rants from the MVP of Talking Trash, because I was like, I shouldn't have made a book called that
Because you're exhausted.
my like I feel now like I've been sucking so like I have lockjaw.
Yeah.
Like my mouth is like fucked up. So we're done.
Go get his book, Michael Rapaport, funniest book of 2017. That's coming from me. You know this. You know that the fucking shit is real. If I'm saying it's the funniest book of 2017. Thank you for being on the show. We appreciate it. Good night, everyone.
Thanks for having me.